Greetings, dear ones, and welcome. Before we begin, if you value thoughtful, respectful storytelling that lifts people up instead of tearing them down, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to this channel. In a media landscape too often ruled by sensationalism and cynicism, we choose a different path, one of context, compassion, and facts. Hitting that subscribe button ensures you never miss an update on the remarkable work of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, as well as other stories of quiet integrity. Now, let us talk about what is really happening. This week, Duchess Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, announced a touching new addition to her lifestyle brand, As Ever. Just in time for Mother's Day, she is releasing 2 limited edition candles, candle number 506 for her son, Prince Archie, and candle number 604 for her daughter, Princess Lilibet. Each number corresponds to the children's birth dates, May 6th and June 4th. The candles are part of As Ever's Mother's Day collection, debuting on April 22nd. The scents are delicate and personal. Ginger, neroli, and cashmere, subtle nods to her children's famously red hair, and the warm, loving home life the family has built in Montecito, California. Priced at £47, each candle is hand-poured in small batches, with a portion of proceeds going to a charity supporting children and families. But within hours of the announcement, a familiar voice of cynicism emerged. The Daily Mail, a tabloid long known for its criticism of the Sussexes, ran a headline claiming Meghan monetizes Archie and Lily as she releases £47 candles inspired by her children, with nods to their red hair. Let us pause here. Is that accurate? Is that fair? And most importantly, is that the full story? The Daily Mail chose the verb monetizes. In their framing, Duchess Meghan is not a mother celebrating her children, she is a merchant cynically cashing in on their names. That word carries a heavy implication: exploitation. So let us ask directly, what does exploitation actually mean? In its ethical and legal sense, exploitation occurs when one party takes unfair advantage of another, typically a vulnerable person, for selfish gain, without regard for their well-being. Exploitation involves coercion, deception, or a gross power imbalance. It is a child forced into labor. It is an artist paid nothing for their work while others profit. It is a minor paraded against their will. Now, ask yourself honestly, does any of that apply here? Are Archie and Lilibet being forced to appear in advertisements? No. Are they being filmed or photographed for this product? No. Are they losing their privacy or childhood to sell candles? No. Has Duchess Meghan ever named a product after them in a way that exposes private medical information, embarrassing stories, or personal struggles? Absolutely not. What she has done is what countless parents, artists, and entrepreneurs have done for generations: drawn inspiration from the love she feels for her children. A painter names a painting after her daughter. A musician writes a song for her son. A chef creates a dish inspired by her family's favorite flavors. And a candle maker, because, yes, that is a legitimate craft, chooses scents and numbers that hold personal, sentimental meaning. If that is exploitation, then every parent who ever sold a handmade card at a school fair with their child's drawing on it would also be guilty. The standard the Daily Mail is trying to impose on Duchess Meghan is one they would never apply to any other mother, especially not a white, aristocratic, or non-controversial one. The truth is simple. Duchess Meghan is not exploiting her children, she is honoring them. And there's a world of difference. To understand why that headline is so deeply unfair, we need to step back and see the larger picture. Duchess Meghan and Prince Harry made the difficult, courageous decision to step back from senior royal life in early 2020. They did so not out of spite, but out of necessity, for their mental health, their safety, and the future of their young family. Since relocating to California, they have built a quiet, joyful life in Montecito. They have been seen hiking with their children, volunteering at local animal shelters, shopping at farmers markets, and hosting barbecues for friends. This is not a couple scheming for fame or fortune. This is a couple trying to live peacefully, authentically, and on their own terms. Yet the tabloid noise has followed them relentlessly. Every charity announcement is met with mockery. Every business venture is called a grab for cash. Every family photo, carefully chosen and voluntarily released, is dissected for supposed narcissism. The Daily Mail, in particular, has published thousands of negative articles about Duchess Meghan since her relationship with Prince Harry became public. That is not journalism. That is a campaign. And through it all, what has Duchess Meghan done? She has continued to grow. She has continued to give. She has continued to love her children, support her husband, and build something of her own. Let us take a moment to remember just some of what the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have accomplished since leaving royal life, despite the constant media battering. Archewell Foundation, their nonprofit, has supported vaccine equity, refugee resettlement, paid parental leave advocacy, and disaster relief in Ukraine, Afghanistan, and Haiti. Prince Harry, as Chief Impact Officer of BetterUp, has championed mental health resources for employees worldwide. Their production company, Archewell Productions, created Heart of Invictus and Live to Lead, with profits supporting their charitable work. Duchess Meghan's best-selling children's book, The Bench, celebrates father-son relationships and diversity. Her award-winning Archetypes podcast explored the labels that hold women back, featuring guests like Serena Williams, Mariah Carey, and Mindy Kaling. Prince Harry has continued to lead the Invictus Games, his life's work supporting wounded veterans. And now, as ever, Duchess Meghan's lifestyle brand focuses on intentional living, slow crafting, and small batch goods, with a portion of proceeds always going to charity. Now add candle number 506 and candle number 604, two products celebrating motherhood, children's birthdays, and the quiet joy of a home lit with warmth. Does this sound like a woman who is monetizing her children? Or does it sound like a woman who is simply living her life, finding creative expression in her roles as mother, wife, entrepreneur, and philanthropist? One of the most deliberately ignored facts in tabloid coverage is the Sussexes' consistent, high-impact charitable giving. In recent years alone, Archewell has distributed millions of dollars in grants. They have donated large sums to organizations helping families fleeing conflict, quietly paid for school supplies for underprivileged children in Los Angeles, funded mental health first aid training for young people, and supported the NAACP's Legal Defense Fund. The Daily Mail rarely runs headlines about those donations. Why? Because a headline that reads, Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan quietly donate another $1 million to refugee children, does not sell outrage. It does not generate clicks. But a $47 candle can be twisted into a scandal with a single verb, monetizes. Let us be very clear. Running a business is not a crime. Duchess Meghan is not a working royal receiving taxpayer funding. She is a private citizen living in America, running a small business. She has every right to sell products that reflect her taste, her values, and her family story. The fact that the Daily Mail tries to shame her for doing exactly what countless influencers, celebrities, and even other royals have done before her is transparently hypocritical. Let us not forget that the British royal family has a long history of monetizing their name, image, and family stories. King Charles III's Duchy Originals brand sells organic biscuits, honey, and whiskey, often featuring royal crests and estate imagery. No tabloid ever accused him of monetizing Cornwall. Princess Anne's Park Atwood enterprise sells equestrian products. The late Queen Elizabeth II's Royal Collection Trust sells souvenir tea towels, mugs, and teddy bears. Even the Daily Mail itself sells merchandise with royal headlines. But when Duchess Meghan launches a candle inspired by her children's hair color and birth dates, she is suddenly exploitative. The difference is not in the action, it is in the actor. A beloved royal doing it is considered charming. A mixed-race American woman who left the firm is accused of monetizing her children. This is not a comment on the monarchy as a whole. It is a comment on a specific, persistent, and ugly media double standard that has dogged Duchess Meghan since the very beginning of her public life. Perhaps the deepest injustice of the Daily Mail headline is its erasure of Duchess Meghan's agency as a mother. She is not a passive figure in her children's lives. She is their primary caregiver, their protector, their advocate. She and Prince Harry have fought successfully in court for the right to keep their children's faces out of the press, winning landmark paparazzi cases against paparazzi who took unauthorized photos of Archie. They have chosen not to give Archie and Lilibet official titles, though by law they are prince and princess. They have chosen not to release frequent photos. They have chosen a quiet, nature-filled, largely private childhood for both of their children. Now, if a mother who guards her children's privacy so fiercely decides to release a candle referencing their birth dates and hair color without any image of the children, without any personal anecdote, without any intrusion into their daily lives, is that exploitation? Or is it a gentle, symbolic nod, the kind any loving parent might make? The answer is clear, and the Daily Mail knows the difference but chooses to ignore it because outrage sells. So let us end where we began, with a greeting to you, our dear ones, and a final, firm rebuttal to the cynics. Duchess Meghan is not exploiting her children. She is living her life. She is enjoying her life with Prince Harry in California, away from the tabloid noise that once nearly broke them. Despite all the noise, they still grow. They still continue with their charity work. They still show up for each other, for their children, and for the causes they believe in. The Daily Mail headline is not just negative. It is false, and it is beneath the dignity of honest journalism. So this Mother's Day, if you choose to buy a candle from As Ever, do so knowing what it really represents: a mother's love, a family's resilience, and a woman's quiet refusal to be shamed for building a life of her own design. Please subscribe now to join a community that celebrates truth over tabloids, kindness over cynicism, and the enduring work of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Did you find this video valuable, dear ones? Share it with someone who needs to see the other side of the story. And remember, you can always support the Sussexes' charitable work directly through the Archwell Foundation website. Thank you for watching.